Hello, friends. This is JD. So we're trying something a little bit new. Not really new. This is more of a podcast style, and I've done these kind of before. And I know not a lot of you tune in, but there are those who do enjoy them, and I've gotten great comments before. And this is kind of like My Daily Bliss, except every time I try to include a title with bliss in it, I keep thinking My Daily, and that's not what this is anymore. That was a summertime experiment, and I fully enjoyed it, and it's something I may bring back in the future, but until then, and until my schedule clears a little bit, we're going to be doing something I'll call Happy Chat with JD. So if you like the title, give it a thumbs up. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you want more, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Anyway, I want this to be as interactive as possible. This is not just about my happiness, but about yours as well. I want to know what good things are happening in your life. I want to know what great changes that you're manifesting. And if you're stuck, if you're stuck, feel free to contact me, either via comments and we can hash it out. Maybe the greater community can help you hash it out too. This is meant to be an interactive person-to-person connection, not just person to video. Oftentimes me sitting here with a microphone, I feel like you guys are kind of far away, and it's when you all connect with me on here and on Facebook and on Twitter that I feel like we're really connecting and creating this wonderful community of people who are growing together, who are traveling on their life path together. And I want you to be part of that. I want to be part of yours, and I want to hear all the happy things that are going on in your life. So in the beginning of this year, I had started a 30-day challenge each month, and that kind of got derailed as of, I think it was June or July. I finally was like, okay, enough of this. But by that point, changes really had started manifesting in a big way. One of the things that has come about for those of you who have been following me on here, I got a dog. His name is Apollo, and he will be making more appearances in my videos, whether you like it or not. I really don't care. I adore him and want to show him off. He's like my baby. He's my fur baby. That's what he is. But those of you who don't know, I have been wanting my own dog for years. We're not talking like impulse, hey, I want a dog, I'm going to get a dog. Hey, I have a dog. No. This has been something that for years and years I've been wanting. But for many years, and I'm sharing this with you because in my process of getting my lovely little baby, who is curled up on the floor right nearby, there were a lot of roadblocks that I put in my own way. And I kept saying, I can't, I work too much, blah, blah, blah. And I do work a lot. And there were adoption agencies that wouldn't even look twice at me because I am single and I work so much. And at the time, I was working, I think, three jobs. Now I'm down to my side business and my day job. But even with the side business, something happened this summer where I realized I really have not been taking enough time for myself. I have been working so hard, and I may have talked about this before, and I apologize if I have and if I'm being repetitive. I talk a lot in all different areas of my life, so it's hard to keep track of what I talk about on here and with my clients and peeps in the office. But I work a lot, and so this summer I really rested. There's all sorts of things that were supposed to happen, parties and classes and events, and most of them I just kind of let fall by the wayside. And for those of you who are subscribed to my newsletter, which if you'd like to be, it's on theindigopompion.com. You can subscribe there or just private message me and give me your email address and I'll add you. But I was doing them every single week, and this summer I said, you know what? I'm going to take a break. I'm going to step back. I'm going to take some time for myself. And I did. And I liked it. I really liked it. And I'd forgotten what that was like, what having actual time for me was like. I give so much through my side business, whether it is doing videos, working on a book, creating classes. I'm going to be up at the office 3 times this week for, readings and circles and meditations and galleries. And I'm doing a mini retreat on the 5th, and I'm going to be up there a lot. But I, over the summer, decided, and I made the decision with a friend of mine to cut back on my hours. She took a look at my schedule and she's like, JD, you're spending way too much time up there. And I'm like, I kind of am. And so I took that time and I cut back, and I have no regrets. And then all of a sudden I ran into this person at, I think it was the grocery store, and I look at the car next to me and there was a sign that says dog sitter or dog walker. And I'm like, oh. And when I come back out, she was there. And so I asked her some questions and I got some prices, and, I was telling her how hard it was to find a dog. People won't adopt to me because, if you're not home 24/7, they feel like you're not a fit parent. And she's like, oh, well, I have some connections. So I'm like, oh, cool. And so we exchange numbers and we exchange information. And when I get to my house, I decided to look on Petfinder one more time. Like, what the heck? I'll just give it a look. And there he was, and he was really local. And something said, you know what? Just put in the application. Within 3 days, he was mine. And I immediately had to change my schedule like crazy. And you know what? I changed my schedule and I dropped a lot of hours, but I haven't really lost any clients, any time. So I've gained a whole day, a whole extra evening a week for myself and my baby dog, and I'm not really missing going up there all the time. And I thought I would, or I thought it was something I had to do, and I put all of these hads and shoulds. So here I am, always telling you guys, yeah, get rid of the shoulds, and there I was putting up blocks that I hadn't even noticed or seen or been paying attention to. And when I got rid of them, it was like, oh, it was this huge weight that had been taken off of my shoulders. And I'm still working up there, and I'm still doing about the same, even though I'm not there as much time. But it's kind of the working smarter versus working harder. So that is a really big change, and it was a big mental shift. So for those of you who are subscribed to my newsletter, there will be a new one coming out soon once I've put all of my new videos up. And I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. I could edit it out, but hey, you know what? This is real life here. It's like you're in my house with me. You would have seen me sneeze anyway. So it's really kind of cool to have this entire shift of time taken back, because for so many years, I want to say the better part of 15 years, I had been working probably 60-hour weeks, maybe 65, 70 some weeks, whether it was my old retail job and I was doing another part-time job, and then I took on this business, and then with all of the things that are going on with having your own business, it is a 24-hour, 7 job. And even though I set time for it, I was taking up too much time, and I wasn't taking up enough time for myself. So with this dog, we're going to go back, and we're going to go backwards and shift a little bit. I've talked to you about something called human design in the past. In fact, I put a video up on my website about human design. I would check it out. And the woman I worked with was Simone, and when we kind of sat down and figured out what my profile was, it looked, part of my profile, I was fighting against that energy. And I was working when I should have been kind of sitting back, putting out the energy, sitting back, putting out the energy, sitting back. And now that I'm doing that, I have had these incredible shifts in my life. And really, none of that would have come about had I not in the beginning of the year said, 2016 is going to be my year of change. And in this year, I've started taking a course, like a big course, not a little course, not like, one of those 1 or 2 days. In fact, after I'm done with this, I'm going to go put in some time with the course. But I'm getting close to finishing my novel. And that's something that has been with me for the better part of 5 or 6 years. And it's finally coming to a close. And all of these things that have been taking up so much of my time, I have cut back on some things, but now I have this time and energy to dedicate to my creative endeavors, to my self-growth, and I'm still able to give to others. So for those of you who have been wanting to make these big life changes, and you're afraid that it will take you out of the game, it doesn't have to. It's about bringing balance in. And, in my course, one of the things they do is say, talk the talk, walk the talk. And I really feel like that is what I've been doing this year in leaps and bounds. I have taken and reclaimed my time, and I urge you to do the same. If you at all can drop the illusion of what you think has to be. And it is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It is really difficult, especially if you are any of the earth signs or if you are a fixed sign. We get really caught up in the shoulds. And I'm really good at recognizing them in others. I'm really good at helping others discover those blocks for themselves. But for me, it's like if somebody had spoken to me, well, you should take more time to, I can't, this is how it has to be. It's how it has to. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And it was a very difficult truth to come to. And it's not anything earth-shattering, but it was life-shifting. And it is by dropping these shoulds, it has made possible other shifts for me to allow to come into play. There are things coming down the line for myself personally that a year ago, even 6 months ago, I would have thought would be impossible. And now I'm taking this incredible leap of faith. And I've always been good at having faith that everything will work out as it should be. But at the same time, I try to take as much control as I can over the situation. And I'm dropping some of that control, and I'm recognizing that all of those paradigms that I had set up in my brain of this is how it should be, really, over the past, now we're in October, going into November, so 11 months has really changed. One of the things that has happened is I'm starting to very, not easily, but easier, I've been dropping a little bit of weight. My house is less cluttered and more clean. It's not where I want it to be. But I can look around and not feel so frustrated at the space that I've created. In fact, one of the things I'm doing tonight is taking time to do things like do the dishes. And I've been doing laundry. And I know for a lot of you, you're probably rolling your eyes going, oh, for God's sakes. But when you work 3 jobs and you get home, you have no energy. You have no energy. And more than that, you have no care to do that stuff. And so doing things as simple as laundry and groceries and dishes and keeping the house clean, you may take for granted if you have that time. But when you are so burnt out or close to burnout that by the time you get home, all you want to do is sleep, Trust me, when you all of a sudden have this time and you've started taking time for yourself, doing things as simple as picking up the house can actually bring you pleasure. And so whatever it is you've been procrastinating on, or you've been thinking, I don't have time for that, I challenge you, and I set up the challenge, and feel free to comment again in the comment section below. I challenge you to find the areas of your life where you're sucking away time. One year, and I may bring this back for a month, probably the month of either November or December, where I stay off of Facebook. Facebook is one of the biggest time suckers for me ever. And when I did that, oh gosh, it had to have been 6 years ago. I think that's when I started. No, it was 2012. I did that for 1 month, and I did it for a couple reasons. I did it because I found I was doing all the calling amongst my friends, and I was like, wait a minute, why am I doing all the calling? And I realized it's because they feel that they can connect with me on Facebook, although they don't. They don't text me or message me. And we would kind of see each other and how we were doing on each other and like each other's pictures and go, all right, I've contacted that person, but there was no contact. So that was one reason. And the other reason is that I needed to reclaim my time. So because I do use Facebook in a professional level, I still did use it professionally during that month. But I did not play any games. I did not do anything other than like post professionally. And so I challenge you to do a Facebook blackout for whether it's a week, a month, and see how much time you get back. The other thing that I was doing, and I need to get back into, and I'm going to challenge you guys to do that, is take a tech-free day once a week where you stay off technology for at least 12 hours. I posted this challenge to my group out in New Jersey, and asked them and told them, what I did, and it is incredibly relaxing and de-stressing. And it's one thing if you want to download like a YouTube meditation, or you want to use it to help you with your connection. But when we use it to distract ourselves, it really takes time away from connecting with people, connecting to our higher selves, grounding, and being present. So taking, and I know it's ironic that I'm speaking to you about this through YouTube and through a form of technology, but I also make time to connect with my friends. And when I'm with my friends, my phone is down unless I'm taking a picture of them. And so when you are going out to eat with your friends, put the phone down. When you're with the family, for God's sakes, put the phone down. You don't need the phone. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Put your technology down. Yes, I know that stunk. I don't care. Put it down. You don't need it 24/7. You really don't. And if you use it as a tool, it can be incredible. It can be connecting, and it can be a wonderful way to connect with people across country or across the globe that you are friends with. But if you are using it to distract yourself, if you are at the dinner table, I want you to see how many times you're checking your phone, because the messages on your phone are just that. They're messages. You can get back to them, and you can get back to them at any point in time. So all of these things that I've challenged myself to do, in the second half of the year, the changes are where I'm seeing the benefit of the challenges I did in the beginning of the year. Does that make any sense at all? I hope it does. But things like a lightened up schedule, finding the dog of my dreams that I've been dreaming about, and really just changing the balance of my life. So my happiness has been this change. And being a Taurus, I'll tell you, change, oh God, it's hard. It's hard. It's scary. It shifts the ground beneath your feet. But what can come out of it is beautiful love and connection with yourself and with the divine and with others. And I think the purpose of change is to shake up all the old energy that we have that's stuck within us. And sometimes situations put that energy there and those patterns there, and sometimes we put that there. And for me, I think it was a combination of both. Like a lot of you, I started out working a million jobs just to get by. Out here on the East Coast, and especially here in Jersey, things are expensive. Things are really brutally expensive. Even Jersey versus going up when I'm with my parents, groceries, little items are almost $1 more per item out here than it is when I go back home to visit. So I had to work just to keep afloat and work a lot. And this year, I'm finding, okay, why am I still keeping up those old patterns, even though the universe has given me, some abundance? And now I'm not rolling in it, but I no longer have to stress the way I did when I was in my 20s. Now I'm in my 30s, and I can go, wait a minute, I can actually live like a human and not work to live, but not live to work, but work to live. And so that balance is shifting for me, and I'm reprioritizing. So as you go forward in your endeavors over the next week and next month, I challenge you to find time to be grateful, to shift your priorities, to challenge yourself to break out of old energy patterns that are holding you back, and to embrace the change that is coming in, because this is the end of a 9-year cycle, friends, and 2017 begins a new phase in all of our lives. Now, we have our own personal 9-year cycles, but 2017 is the beginning of the long 9-year cycle on a universal level. And this is when all the things that you have wrapped up in 2016 and those previous 9 years will either start again, and you're going to have to relive those cycles in the next 9 years if you haven't wrapped them up, or you can make those changes, wrap up everything, learn your lessons, and start afresh for 2017. I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm going for starting afresh and letting go of all the old garbage that had been weighing me back in 2016 and before. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. We do a lot more with meditations. And again, like I mentioned in my card reading this week, that there are free classes on here, and there will likely be more. And I'm still waiting for 15 commenters on the Psychic Development series. If I get enough comments, right now we're up to 4 between YouTube and Facebook. So we need 11 more comments. So if you are interested in doing psychic development on here with little mini exercises, and I can do like a series of, 5 or 10 to help challenge you or give you tips and tools, subscribe, like, and make those comments. Because if I don't get 15 or more, I'm not going to be doing it on here. That doesn't mean it won't ever be done, but we need those comments because I'm not just going to put them up and have them not be watched. So if that's something that you're interested in discovering your own intuitive abilities, in seeing how you can blossom and how you can do some of this at home very easily, then give me a comment. Let me know that that's something you want. Anyway, I love you all, and be on the lookout. I'm going to be putting up another crystal bowl new moon meditation tonight. So love you all. Talk to you later. Bye.